ready to go on this topic of innovating business with technology, which is something I'm really passionate about. It's something I built my business on, and just something I really wanted to kind of share with you all today. And so I'll whiz through it as quickly as I can within reason. So I just want to leave time for a little bit of questions at the end if that's something that you guys want to do. So my name's, as I said, Craig Boddy. I run Balliante, which is a managed IT service provider. And when anyone gives one of these talks, I'm always a little bit nosy. So I thought I'll put in the nosy bit a little bit about me very quickly. So that's me and my other half there. I'm 32, married, no children, but I've got Oscar dog there. I was born in Middlesbrough and I moved to Rotherham in 2011 when I graduated. And I did a various amount of roles over the years before I ended up doing what I'm doing now in Balliante. So it really took its current form from about October 19 when we properly launched, and that's where we are now. We at Balliante give a particular area, also give particular focus on supporting your business from using technology. So that's kind of really important to us. So it's it's not about profits. It's about making sure that we do the right thing by the right person and making sure that we give the right solution as well. So we've got offices in Rotherham, in South Yorkshire, Middlesbrough in the northeast, and more recently in New York as of February this year. And we offer 24/7 technical support for those out of hours queries as well that might need answering. So in terms of IT services then, a lot of people, I just want, a show of hands in the chat. Well, sorry, not a show of hands in the chat, just a kind of a question in the chat. If you could pop in there, how many staff do you think you really need to have before you think IT is something you should be thinking about as a startup? Is it something that you should be thinking about when you've got a few staff or not very many? So if you just a quick number in the chat of how many people you think that could be. So we've got a few answers there. I've got a one, just me, one. Exactly right. Yeah, as soon as you start your business, that's when you should be thinking about IT and sort of, obviously you don't need a team like ours when you've got just yourself or a couple of people, but it should still be at the forefront of your mind as soon as you get to a stage where you're thinking about opening your business. Otherwise, that's when things can start to go wrong, or you start to not build on your sort of stuff that you're starting on. So from an IT point of view then, it's more than just computers that are thought of with IT. So you've got the technical support aspect, so supporting your team, the technical support, so making sure that the right person can do the right thing with the right tool. Website development, comes into the IT stuff. Is your security in place? Patches, if you're taking payments, that sort of stuff. CRMs to manage your customer databases, to manage, the work you're doing. Telecoms as well, software, hardware, networks. Do you need a physical firewall? If you're a larger business, probably. If you're a smaller one, could you get away with a software firewall? There's loads of different things and loads of different entry points into your business as well. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to run through some of the stuff that we kind of got in terms of innovating the business first, then we'll look at some of the security and stuff afterwards. So one of the most fantastic things that's come about in this day and age is the automation side of things. Modern technology has made it possible for businesses to automate various tasks, reducing the need for manual labor, increasing efficiency. And this can include things like the customer service chat box, inventory management tools, and financial tracking software, which increases communication. Communication is essential in every business. Obviously, it wouldn't run without communication. And the modern world has made technology easier than ever to make customers be able to stay in touch with staff, colleagues, stay in touch with each other. So you've got things like email, instant message, video conferencing, social media, all them things now. Can you imagine trying to run a business 30 years ago with those things? And now they're just so easy to do. And I mean, one of the really great things that we've got at the moment. Microsoft Teams is a fantastic tool that allows collaborative working. You can work on documents together. Um, you can actually work on projects in the same time. So you get sort of an icon on your screen where the other person's working. And that could even be remote. So we've had a huge advance to technology. I think COVID has helped us with that. Advances in technology to make employees work wherever they want across the world. This has opened up new possibilities for businesses. So it allows you to access a wider pool of talent, reducing your overhead costs by not having to maintain physical offices. Um, we're able to basically get more collection of data and tools and stuff so you can improve decision making, identifying new opportunities with tools like data intelligence software and artificial sort of like AI, ChatGPT, Power BI, all those sort of things can get valuable insights into people's behavior, customer behavior, market trends and stuff. And data analysis as well. So, years and years ago, we weren't able to track as much how our businesses are doing. But modern technology makes it possible to collect vast amounts of data, which means that you can improve decision making, identify new opportunities, look at things like kind of customer behavior, customer insights, market trends, which all increases your business. So I always use this little graphic here, which I really like. It just shows you kind of like, it doesn't seem like a big step each time, but as you take these small steps along in your business, you can see the huge sort of change that you implement. We implemented in ours Power BI reporting very early on, and we analyze everything. We look at trends for everything. We look at customer behavior, spend, average response times, all that sort of stuff. And it kind of it allows us to kind of see what people are doing and how they're working. And we noticed that really stupid thing, but technicians who in our office who sit there with the headphones on, um, ready to take calls, answer the phone 14 seconds faster than technicians who put it down and then put it back on. So, in terms of, I mean, we're only a small business, of course, but if you were thinking in terms of a larger organization, if you were having sort of hundreds and thousands of calls taken a day, then 14 seconds mount up so much. So, it's little trends like that and little tricks that you can think of that can be really useful, which allow you to sort of see, like I say, see where you're going and make changes to improve things. So hardware and software then is kind of a useful one as well. When we look at performance, so a lot of people think, if they've got a laptop working, somebody like me will come along and try and convince them to buy a new laptop because it's old or whatever, and think, oh, it's time for a new one just because. Software changes. I don't know if anybody's heard of Moore's Law. Every 18 months, computers get either half the cost or twice as fast as they were the 18 months prior. So by investing in your latest hardware and software, it makes sure that your business is running on optimized performance and using the most efficient technology available. With security issues these days, cybersecurity threats are becoming more sophisticated, more frequent, and so investing into up-to-date hardware and software is critical in keeping your business secure. Believe it or not, investing in reliable up-to-date hardware and software can actually reduce costs associated with maintenance, repairs, and downtime, and also increases your flexibility to your business because you can adapt with market conditions and changes, such as things like touch screens. You can write on screens these days with pens and stuff like that. And it also gives you the better customer experience by having them investing in more reliable, up-to-date hardware and software. It can provide your customers with a better experience as well. So that's kind of really important to keep that in mind when you're dealing with that. Moving on, one thing I did want to touch on these days is cloud versus physical on-premise stuff. So not something that a lot of startups will worry about in terms of physical servers on premises. But a lot of businesses these days still think that a physical server on site is something that needs to happen. So we get called out a lot of people to replace servers on site. Now servers can cost 10, 15, 20, 30K, a lot of money, and you've got that single point of failure there in terms of the physical machine that's on your premise. um, from a cloud point of view, cloud storage is very cost effective for business. It eliminates the need for physical servers and data centers, which are expensive to maintain. Cloud storage, you only pay for the storage and resources you need, which allows you to have significant cost savings while you're small. And then scalability means that businesses can increase and decrease the storage requirements as needed. So this makes it ideal for businesses who are starting out. And you can start out Azure to go on. So you can set yourself up a cloud storage server, set yourself up on Microsoft Azure, get yourself on SharePoint, and actually have a full business set up as if you've got an on-premise server, so you can share files with your staff, you can share files with clients, you can store things where they need to be. Cloud storage is accessible from anywhere. You generally don't need a VPN to deal with that. So it means you can have your employees access files remotely. Again, increasing productivity, particularly for your business. It gives you resilience in terms of remote working. Cloud storage providers as well will generally have much more robust security systems in place, encryption and firewalls to protect against data breaches and unauthorized access, which can give your business peace of mind knowing that the data is secure and protected. Additionally, cloud storage providers often have better disaster recovery protocols in place, ensuring your data is backed up and recoverable in the case of a disaster, which is always something that needs to be thought about. So going back to the automation then and streamlining your workflows, you basically technology can be such an addition to your business if you use it right. And you can look at how you can reduce your workflows, your manual labor tasks. You can look at computers automating your repetitive tasks, such as data entry, invoicing, tools, workflow management software. By automating tasks, it can free up employees' time to focus on higher level things that require creativity and critical thinking. This can lead to your employees having increased productivity and job security and satisfaction. A lot of the manual data entry tasks can eliminate human error. So things like data entry and processing, using tools like machine learning algorithms or optimal character recognition, which is OCR, which is where you can scan and actually have the scanner read the letters and take them on and put them into type. It can improve accuracy and reduce the mistakes. All of those things will be cost saving. So automating tasks can reduce your labor costs, especially as startups. If you can have a machine do something rather than having an employee needing to do it, it can sort of lead to cost saving things and not having to redo work, which is waste of time. And there's so many tools out there that can help you automate things. So some examples, robotic process automation software, chatbots for customer service. So you can have tools on your website that can answer your messages for you. You can, when you're doing marketing and stuff like that, you can do that sort of stuff. So additionally, there's so many additional softwares that can be used that can do a job that you'd have a person doing, that can really free up your time and effort. Which brings me on to reporting. So reporting is so important, and people don't tend to think about it very much, especially in startups. But business reporting refers to the process of obviously collecting, analyzing, and presenting the data but on the performance of the business. A lot of people think it's big business stuff that you would have here, but we should be doing it from day one. Having correct data in place enables you to make data-driven decisions. So reporting provides you the the analytics of your business presented in a certain way so that decision makers can make the strategic decisions they need to make, um, which can enhance the overall performance of your business if you know the information there. It provides a clear understanding of business. The reports provide reports don't lie, stats don't lie. That's a sort of a data analyst's catchphrase, if you like. So business reporting provides clear, comprehensive reviews of the business performance, financial metrics, sales figures, other key metrics, and it can help stakeholders and investors and employees, put them in a better position to make them understand the business's position and change its direction if it needs to be. And you're not acting on haste or on a whim. You're acting on real live information. It can also help you identify areas for improvement. So by analysing the business's reports, weekly, monthly, annually, quarterly, whatever you see fit on there, you can identify where your business is underperforming, where it can improve. And this can prioritize and change the whole direction of your business by knowing what's happening, when, and what needs to happen. It also helps facilitate communication. So reports can be shared with stakeholders, managers, team leaders, again, investors and other employees to ensure everyone's on the same page regarding the business's performance and goals. And finally, it supports regulatory requirements as well. In some cases, businesses are required to submit reports to regulatory bodies. By regularly producing business reports, businesses can ensure that they're meeting with their regulatory obligations, avoiding penalties, and it just generally gives you an important role in making sure that you make an informed decision with your business. And so that kind of makes sure that if you're catching the information at the very early stage of your business, that you're able to sort of identify that and move along with it. So a key part of having the data there is making sure that you put the information in the first place. So there's a really old-fashioned saying now that's been around for a lot of years: garbage in, garbage out. I don't know if any of you have heard that one before. So that's a really interesting catchphrase that basically means what it says. If you put garbage into the machine, you're going to get garbage out of it. So implementing like a customer relationship management software, it provides no end of benefits to your business. So it looks at managing your customer interactions and your data effectively. So sort of a few points in why you should have this is that a CRM would help your business improve their customer relationships by providing a central point of contact for your customers, including letting them see their past purchases, letting them choose their preferences, interactions, allowing you can even get the customer in some CRMs to personalize their colors and make it more targeted so they actually like using it. Increased efficiency. So a CRM can work in partnership with yourself to build a streamlined process, allowing, or removing the need, for manual data entry. One thing that we do internally, we have a CRM, and the first step in our sales process is the customer has to make an account on our CRM, and they have to do it themselves. And the reason for that is that we don't misspell their name, we don't misspell their address, we don't misspell their phone number, their email. So the first process is that they create their own access on their CRM. That improves our accuracy and reduces the risk of data error in our customers' data. From there, you can look at your sales. So obviously, we work very, very closely with Mantra. So from that point of view, when we collect the company data in there, we can give that data to them and ask them, can you send this to these, or can we run a campaign on that? Or so a CRM system can help track the business's sales and performance and identify an area for improvement. So that means like looking at your leads, analyzing your current customer data, looking at cross-selling opportunities and upselling opportunities. And again, dropping back into the reporting stuff, once you've got all that information, you've got an enhanced platform for reporting and analytics. So it provides great tools to track behaviors, trends, key metrics, and identify information where you can make growth making decisions for your business. So implementing a CRM would be a powerful tool, managing customer interactions and relationships effectively. Now, you don't have to come to a company like ours to get something like that. There's loads of free ones out there. Some examples like HubSpot, Zoho, Monday.com, they all have free entry level stuff. Then you can move into the paid versions. So it's really, really important that you implement that at a very, very early stage in your business. Otherwise, before it gets too late, that you would be in a situation where you were trying to play catch up. Excuse me a second, let's have a quick drink. I'm struggling with my my cold here, unfortunately. Cybersecurity then, really, really important thing in this day and age. We see some really, really clever things. Phishing is an absolute, a really clever one at the moment where people can like front emails. So, you could receive an email, a phishing email from me, and it'll have my name on it. It'll look like it's come from my email inbox. It might be asking you, just let you know, I've changed my bank details. Can you make sure any future payments go to this email? So very, very scary stuff. It looks so genuine. So if I can ask you to take anything away from today's session, it's about checking those sort of things, and making sure that, if you receive something that doesn't seem right, check. I know none of my customers and none of the suppliers that I work with would mind if I rang up and just said, I've just received an email from you. It said you've changed your bank. Is this true? Nobody would care about that. And if they do, they're not the sort of people you want to work with anyway. So that's the kind of thing that, just that double check. If something doesn't seem right, just double check it. But implementing cybersecurity measures is so important to protect yourself from cyber threats that can compromise your business's sensitive data and information. So first of all, always assess your risk. Begin by assessing your business's cybersecurity risk. Again, companies like ours can help you with that. You can do it yourself with templates online. You can sort of have a little think about it, see where you can see any vulnerabilities, such as outdated software, weak passwords, using unsecured Wi-Fi's, connecting to unsecured Wi-Fi's in coffee shops and things like that. All areas that can be a little bit of a door in. Develop a cybersecurity plan. So develop a cyber plan that outlines the steps you'll take to protect your business's sensitive data. This should include specific measures such as firewalls, antivirus software, and procedures to respond to a cybersecurity incident if one was unfortunately to occur. Third is to install firewall and antivirus software. So firewalls and antivirus are really essential parts of every business. Don't think that you're too small to worry about it. Small businesses are particularly at risk because they haven't got the capital to sort themselves out afterwards, and they're an easy target because they might not be set up yet. A firewall is basically just a piece of software that monitors your network traffic, and it knows what malicious software might be. It's updated all the time, and it'll take steps to remove that. We can do security audits if we need to. So if it's something you're worried about, just have a chat with me. It's just a 5-second conversation about little things that we can help you with. Train your employees as well. If you're at the stage where you've got employees, train them. You have a fire drill, I presume. If you've got a building, you have a fire drill. Why not have a cybersecurity drill? We do it all the time. We'll send a fake phishing email around and have a go at the person who clicks on the link on it. It's just a best way to practice how to, include things like phishing scams and social engineering attacks, and make sure that people don't fall for it. And again, make sure they check. And then fifth, regularly update your patch and software. Regularly update and run your patches, software updates. Don't be that guy who, puts the computer into sleep for 6 months and never runs a Windows update. You need to, they come down for a reason. I know they're annoying. I know they take 20 minutes to install, but regularly making sure that you run your patch updates and stuff. means that your cybersecurity threats are minimized. Make sure that you do them scheduled up to date. Maybe it's Friday afternoon, log off 10-15 minutes early, let it run its software update. And sixth, back up your data. So regularly back up your data to ensure that you can recover from a cybersecurity incident, such as a ransomware attack. Consider automated backups. Ensure that it's regularly backed up and secure. Ensure that it's stored somewhere else from where your main storage is. Staying informed as well, so making sure that you stay informed about issues like this. So making sure that you stay informed with the emerging technologies, things that are new to the market. It's essential for businesses who want to remain competitive and adaptable in today's rapidly changing marketplace. Attend industry conferences. So if you're interested in these, there's conferences all the time. My business partner was in Bristol last week, listening to a conference on cybersecurity. The keynote speakers who come on and you have panel discussions and discuss the latest industry developments. Join professional associations, so LinkedIn, Facebook, all them sort of places have access to industry professionals who can talk to you about publications and opportunities to find out about things in that field. Follow industry experts on LinkedIn. That is a polite dig, so follow me, please, if we don't already on LinkedIn. I post things that are quite relevant, so do loads of other people like me. And we share technology news, emerging trends, research into the latest developments and stuff. And then finally, as well, conduct your own. There's no reason why you can't conduct your own market research and see, are you using the best firewall? Don't look at things in terms of cost. Look at things in terms of features and abilities, and do they have the automated quarantine services, or is it something that actually you're going to have to get involved with? Is it something you need a company to support you with? Is it can be self-managed? And then stay up to date as well with the current technologies, and if you see something new, great, let's move to it, but make sure we've had some thought into it, make sure it's had proof of concept testing, feasibility studies and stuff. So it requires a proactive approach, really. So staying up to date with the latest developments in your industry can make sure your business remains competitive and adaptable in the face of change. And that is about it from me in terms of my presentation. So I'll just open the room in terms of any questions that anybody might have. We've all disappeared because I've shared my screen.
Craig, that was brilliant, and a welcome reminder on why we should all get it right as business owners on IT. Any questions from anyone this morning?
Sorry, it was a bit sort of nasally. It's only me could get a cold in August.
There's a lot of people I know with colds at the moment, Craig. You're not on your own there. I've got a question for you, Craig, whilst we're waiting. You offer the full cyber security package, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of a part of any business really needs to have audited themselves and just look at what threats are out there. But I think that prevention is always better than cure. So one of the first things we do when we take on any business from an IT support point of view is install a really small piece of software, and it's got an antivirus built into it, but it's just a network monitor, and it monitors every single packet of data that goes over the network, and it basically allows any sort of suspicious packets to kind of be registered to us, and let us deal with that. So that's kind of it. Even if it's not a company like ours that you're wanting to use, if you are a one-man band, there's nothing wrong with you getting something like that yourself. There's loads of free ones, like there's Avast, there's AVG. There's plenty of free versions that you can just use, but so many people just won't use them or don't think to use them. One of the other things that I find as well, it's really sort of a bit scary, but if you store passwords on your computer, we could run a script to find that file. So if you've got a Word document, say with passwords in it, and it's called passwords, and you've got Facebook and it's Ollie123, and you've got Instagram and it's Ollie456, and I could run a really quick script and find that password folder, and then I've got it. So even if you're going to have a Word document with your passwords in, which I really don't recommend, but if some people still want to do that, just don't call it passwords. Call it something else: grocery shopping list, car repair list. Something that it's obvious to you, but it's not going to be obvious to somebody who's looking for it. But still terrible to be storing Word documents with passwords in. But it's just that sort of, if you're going to do them silly things, still put a little bit of protection in place for yourself, regardless, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Giving us some great sage advice this morning, Craig. Gary, you got any questions?
No, not off the top of my head.
Let's just see, look in the chat. Philip has put, thanks, Craig. It's quite scary how easy it is. Are things like TrueKey good for passwords and secure?
So what you mean there is like a password manager. So TrueKey is a password manager. It's better to use a password manager and have a different password for everything than have the same password for everything. I think a lot of people will just have like a really good password, and they remember it and it's really secure, and then they'll just use it for everything. What you've got to realize is, if I can find that out, I can get into your bank, I can get into your Facebook, I can get into your eBay, I can get into work documents, I can do what I want. So a password manager, they're very secure to start with, as long as it's a good one. They're very secure. They're all encrypted, so even if you get in, the information wouldn't make any sense to them. And it would be easier to have a different password. It's a 2-second more commitment to you for signing into something. So you'd have to maybe have it into your browser, or you'd have to have it installed in a piece of software or an app on your phone. And I know it's annoying. It would be easier to have the same password for everything. But the security implications, if one of them is compromised, all of your other accounts are safe. So it kind of makes it's a win-win situation there, that it's a couple of extra seconds on your day to log in. But it means that you're a bit safer when you've got your other accounts there. And then if that one account was compromised, you just fix that, rather than having to go around every single account in your name, that of which you probably can't remember half of them. I know I've probably had a Boots Advantage card for about 20 years, but I haven't been to Boots for about 10. But if the password was the same, do you know what I mean? It'd be that sort of thing. So in answer to your question, TrueKey, yes, use a password manager. Make sure it's a good, reputable one. Read the Google reviews. Check with companies like ours, and yeah, take the extra couple of seconds out your day to kind of put it into password manager, rather than just having the same one throughout.
There's a couple of things in the chat here, Craig. Peter said, thanks, Craig. Can we have an offline chat about hosting technical engineering packages, please?
Absolutely.
Excellent. And Rolf's put, what about device choice? New employees are wanting to use Apple more these days.
Yeah. So we look after people with Apple devices, not a huge amount, probably less than 15% of our customer base would be on Apple. Probably less than that, actually, thinking about it. I would say it would depend if you needed to use it or not. I think a lot of people are driven to Apple devices because they're nice, they're fancy. If you are an accountant, it's a complete waste of money. If you are Mantra Media, who are designing websites, it would be a good investment. So it just depends on the software that it's running. So obviously, Apple Macs are a lot better at running the design software. They're a lot better at running things like Photoshop. They're able to run them sort of stuff a lot easier. But it would, just because they're more expensive and fancy and they look nice, it wouldn't be my go-to choice. You know, for example, you could run very, very well with, say, a Windows machine with an i7 processor in it, which is a really high processor, and you know, a decent bit of RAM, and that would run probably just as well as an Apple Mac. You know, for that sort of stuff, I'm sure Johnny won't mind you saying, but their lead designer in Mantra, Alex, she runs with an i7 Windows machine. They do all the designs for our website builds. We do the builds for their designs. We work perfectly well on an i7 Windows machine. And then it's also able to run things that they may want to use for something else, such as if you wanted to run accounting software, or you wanted to run something that was just Windows based, you could, it's more functional for your business. What you've got to understand with Apple's is that not every piece of software that's written in the world is released for Apple. So a lot of the time, I mean, probably 95% of it is, so it's not generally not a problem. But sometimes you can go for a piece of software and it's just not available for Apple yet because I haven't written it. So that can be restrictive in there. So unless you're a CAD designer or a website designer, or you work in something heavily designy, I'd probably go Windows. Save yourself probably about £600-700 and more functional.
Thanks, Rolf, for your question. Thanks, Craig. Any final questions for Craig while he's with us this morning? No, I think that's it. Well, I want to thank you, Craig, for this morning. It's been fantastic. Good reminder for a lot of us, and also you've brought a lot of new stuff to the table this morning. And it's always good to have people in the community. Oh, Andrea's got a hand up.
Sorry, it took me a second to come up with a viable question for Craig. In light of the fact that Zoom is perhaps going to be eavesdropping for their own purposes on our conversations, Teams, of course, keeps things within your secure platform, doesn't it? Do you think that this will affect the take-up of Teams rather than Zoom?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask that question because I am an absolute Teams lover. I can see all of the, someone turn Johnny's camera off quick. I can see the benefit of Teams. The collaborative working, you can work on documents together. You can literally be you can be chatting on Teams and say, right, you know, I'm just going to open this spreadsheet, shall we work together on it? And you can spend sort of 10-15 minutes working on the document, which is something you can't quite do in Zoom. I know you can share your screen and you can look at it, but you can't work quite as collaborative as you can in Teams. You know, there's all the different file sharing things that you can do in Teams. So I'm a proper Teams enthusiast. So I just think, yeah, when people get to the point of where they're going to be able to use Teams properly, because the problem with Microsoft is they release something, but they don't release a great deal of training about it. So you know, I think when the knowledge gets up and the use gets up more from Teams, I think Zoom will maybe be not on borrowed time, but I think you'll see a big shift in the market there to be used more towards Microsoft. So yeah, I think more than likely, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, Craig. Any final questions? No, I think we're good. As I was saying, it's really, really excellent when we have members of the Stand Up community come in and do a talk, and it's something we want to encourage more of. So thanks, Craig. You're going to get a lot of love and big ups and everything else on LinkedIn today from us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And no, it was really good this morning.